Hi, welcome to Caribou Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl, and today we're going to be doing another garden tour. This is going to be the mid-July garden tour. Got a lot of things happening in the garden and have been picking out quite a few things. I've picked out some beets and we've been pulling out radishes. I have picked a lot of snap peas so far, and we've been meaning to pick lettuce, but I haven't picked any lettuce yet. Have picked out lots of Chinese toi choy, and it was the hikiri salad turnip. We've been picking that, and Swiss chard. Spinach we've picked all of it. The spinach is finished for now. I've just planted some more, but I have kale that's ready to be picked. That, might need another few more days before the leaves are big enough. I mean, you could pick it right now, but I think the leaves still need to be a little bit bigger for some true good tasting kale. So let's get started on the tour. I just want to show you how smoky it is. Usually I can see the lake from here, and I'm lucky that I can see the trees from down below, but it is just so stinking smoky. It says it's 20 degrees Celsius out here, and it doesn't feel like 20 degrees Celsius. It's just trees and smoky. That's all it is. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start over here this time. So over here, this is my Oxheart tomatoes. I've put in a bit of straw around the base of the tomatoes. I didn't do the whole bed because I still have lettuce coming in. My carrots are still getting big and developing, so I just put the straw mulch around my tomato plants, and those two on the other side over here, that's the chocolate sprinkles cherry tomatoes that I have over there. And like I say, I've got my carrots. On the right is the atomic red carrots, and on the left that is I always have to look, this is the Damper half-longs that I've planted over here. And then over on this bed, this is the Butter Crunch lettuce along the end, and then going into the rows on the right, that's the Ruby Queen beets, and on the left are the Early Wonder beets. And then there in the back, that's my mixed gourmet lettuce. And then I have my cucumbers, lots of flowers, and just want to show you this. Got a little cucumber right in behind there. It's making its way. That's only going to take a few days before it's big enough to pick. Pretty excited about that. And then I have in front of the cucumbers, I have my onions that I've planted in there. My large onions. Couldn't tell you, it's either the Walla Walla, the Elsa Craig. It's not the red, or I would be able to see red on the top of it. Now over on this bed, over these first two are the Cherokee Purple, and as you can see, I have some little tomatoes forming on that one. And I don't see any on this one. In front of these tomatoes are my Dragon Tongue bush beans. These two tomatoes, which ones are these? Now I've gone and put in front of, I've gone and put this mulch around the tomatoes, and now I can't see the tag. This is the old German tomatoes, and I don't see any tomatoes. Oh, yes I do. There are, if you can see that, they're on the bottom. So that's awesome. Last year I had an old German tomato and I kept breaking pieces off of it, and it took forever for it to mature. These are the jalapeno peppers, got lots of flowers growing on them. So we'll have peppers anytime. And then over on this side, this is the Vittoria eggplant. In behind the eggplant, we have the garlic. I don't know what type of garlic this is, because this is the garlic that I picked from my garden last year, and I mixed all the cloves up, so I'm not even sure what type of garlic this is. And then these two eggplants, that's the Black Beauty eggplants. And then look at this shishito pepper, and I have a little shishito growing in right in here. But I've never grown shishito peppers, but from what I understand, they just get covered in peppers. And then in this little frame with the shishito peppers, that's another shishito pepper, I have a couple of sunflowers growing in with them. Now over on this bed here, this is in the front is the Nantes carrots. And then in behind the Nantes carrots are my tomatoes, and I have the New Girl tomatoes. I got a couple of little tomatoes forming on there as well. And then coming over here, these are the Indigo Rose. I'm glad I have these tags here, because sometimes I know what it is, it's on the tip of my tongue, just can't spit it out. And I have been picking beets. So these are, on the left are my cylinder beets, and on the right, those are the bullseye beets. And they are looking very nice. Got a little bit of sun scald from them, or on them, I should say. Now we'll come over here, and these first two tomatoes here, these are the Black Krim. And I'm looking, oh yes, I have a tomato right in there on the Black Krim. These onions that I've planted in the front, these are actually the ruby red onions. There's another Black Krim, two Black Krim tomatoes coming in there. Then over here are the Aunt Ruby's German green. And we have a nasturtium and a sunflower and a calendula. And then these two peppers here, these are the Early Wonder, and I do have a flower on the one Early Wonder. In front of the peppers are the French fillet bush beans. I have some onions growing in between those. And then these peppers on this side, got some flowers there. Gonna have some potential peppers coming in. These are the Big Bertha peppers. I haven't grown those before, and they are a sweet pepper as well. So the California Wonder and the Big Bertha are both a sweet pepper. Now on this bed, I haven't mulched this side because I planted the Hikari salad turnips. This little patch of little sprouts that you see, that's the Hikari salad turnip. And then down at this end is the Chinese Toi Choy, the little sprouts. And in behind is my rutabagas. And then I have another sunflower there. Another nasturtium. And then over in behind there, we have the Carnival Blend tomatoes. And this one was the one that has all the flowers are on this side. Oh, there's some at the top as well. But there's a good majority of the flowers are on that side. And if you look through there, I see a tomato growing in the between there. And then on this side, these are the Brandywine tomatoes. And then I have another sunflower beside the tomato and a nasturtium. And then these onions that I have planted in here, these in the front, these are the Walla Walla onions. I happened to notice I actually did stick a tag in here, so that was smart of me. Every once in a while I surprise myself. Okay, over on this bed, in the onions in the front, this is the Elsa Craig onions. And they're supposed to be quite a large onion. And then this one tomato plant over here, because I had two, but I had to get rid of one. This is the yellow pear, got lots of little yellow pears growing in on there, a little cherry tomato. And then I put another old German in there, and I've mulched all around. And then these two are the Amish paste. And I haven't seen any tomatoes on them yet, but we have flowers growing. Here, I was pretty impressed. These are my cayenne peppers. And I have lots of flowers, but if you notice here, I have a little cayenne pepper. Last year, this is so funny. I planted these seeds, cayenne pepper seeds, the year before last. They started green and then they turned red. Last year, I planted the exact same cayenne pepper seeds, and all the peppers that grew on it grew like a black purple color. It was, and I thought that was so weird. This year, they're green again. Oh, here's another one growing in between here. It's hard to, there it is, right there. Another cayenne pepper. And then on this side, here's my kale. In the front is the dwarf curled green kale. And then in the back, I have the Lictano, which is the dinosaur kale. And I've mulched it. This sunflower has fallen over. This sunflower has fallen over. I think I'm going to have to stake these up. Maybe. Might be an idea. Then I have my 3 celery, which are doing so nice. And if you can see in the back, in behind there, I have a little nasturtium flower. That looks like that cherry rose nasturtium again. Over on this bed, I have sunflowers, I have zinnias. These carrots here are the Damper half-long carrots. In behind the carrots are my, I'm going to come over on this side. These carrots here in the front are the Golden Detroit carrots, oh my goodness, beets. Clearly those are beets. The Golden Detroit beets. And then in behind that is the baby beets. And I have picked from both of those. And then where I have put the mulch in, those are my pickling cucumbers. I got a little one there. And then I've got some bigger ones. And then I have a volunteer squash of some sort. Probably came in the compost. Right in the back there, there's a couple of 2 little leaves. And then this is my mashed potato squash. We've been keeping an eye on it. And I have that one right there. And I have another one growing in beside it. And a third one. If I look in the top, there's another one right there. So this one looks like it has quite a few. Now let's look in the back one. I forget that these leaves are kind of pokey. I see one. in the back there. And then in the very back in that little pot, that's a couple of osteospermums. I have sunflowers in the back. I also have, these are where I've planted my leeks in here, and I've ran leeks down the front of this bed. That is my cilantro, and it is growing quite nice. And then next to it, this is the fern leaf dill. And then I have sunflowers, zinnias. I have a couple more of the osteospermum. And then I mulched around these zucchini plants here. There's another sunflower. My snap peas, pole snap peas, and then I have my red romaine. I planted some of the countryside spinach in this little row with the pink tag. And then over here, I planted the sunburst, little patty pan squash. And I only had 3 seeds left, so hopefully 1 or 2 of them will take. Here's hoping. Over here is my Little Crunch snap peas. I just picked these like yesterday, and I almost feel like there's a couple more that could be picked. I love to just snack on these little snap peas. Another sunflower. This one has got a bud forming on it, so it's going to be opening up pretty soon here. My kohlrabi. I picked 2 kohlrabi already so far. Now these carrots, these are the Goldfinger carrots. I tried one of these yesterday, and I don't know, I think it might become my new favorite. I got those seeds from my sister. They're a pelleted seed, and it was really nice and sweet tasting. Then over here we have the sparkler white tip radish. Then it goes into the French breakfast radishes. And then on the very end, those are the cherry bell radishes. And if you look here, I see little sprouts, and that's where I planted my new row of Chinese toi choy. And we have been picking on this Swiss chard as well. And then when I come around here, these are the Tabasco peppers that I have mulched in here. This is the natural black cherry tomatoes. This is the one I was showing before, that it has the tomatoes underneath here. And then here is the ox heart. And if you can see this one here, oops, I'm falling over, this one here. There's my first tomato on the ox heart tomato. And there's another one coming in over here. And then these peppers are my gypsy peppers. And if I come over on this side, I've got 2 little gypsy peppers right there growing in. Oh, and another one over here. And those are a sweet, long, elongated pepper. Okay, we're gonna take a walk down around to the back, and that's where I have more of our garden planted. And also my little sweet pea has decided to start climbing up the fence, so I'm really happy about that one. And that's another little sweet pea, but it's not close to the fence yet. And then these are my morning glories. And these are the Flying Saucer. I had a couple that didn't make it, but I've still got some that are still doing good. And this one here has started attaching itself to the fence too. Okay, here we have the potatoes. Some of these I went and attached the tags to them, like this first set of 3 potato bags. This is the Bellanita, and these are a late variety. Then next to it is the Christina, and those are an early variety. So those are going to be the ones that I'm going to check first. Next to it is the Russet Burbank, and that's a late variety. I'm going to come over on this side. Got this big thing of dirt here. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, this next, the 4th one in, that's the Yukon Gold. That's a mid to a late season. Next to it is the Binchy, and that's a late season. And then, what's this one? I can't see the tag. Oh, this is the Norland, and that's an early season. So I'm going to be checking that one as well. And then this is the Warba, and that's an early season too. So I'm going to be checking 3 of these in the next couple of days to see if I have any potatoes on them. Okay, let's go down here. Okay, and we'll open up this gate here. And here we have my brassicas. And I just put this netting on the brassicas. I noticed that there was something eating the leaves, and it could have just as easily have been slugs. Like, I checked all over them and I couldn't find anything. But I didn't check for slugs, so it could be just as easily be slugs. So these first section of brassicas, this is my cabbage, and then next we go into the cauliflower. This is the Chinese gold cabbage. Then I have my celery, and then at the end here was a broccoli. This is the squash that we got from Jamie's uncle. And then here I have more of the cabbage in this one. Then coming over here, we have the sweet potatoes, and they're really doing good. I'm just watching how they're vining and making their way to, they should cover this whole bed in vines when all is said and done. Like, this bed should be just covered in vines. And that's just how they grow. And then these here is the corn. And this corn, I never have said what kind of corn this is. This is a span cross hybrid corn. And this corn will be ready in 64 days. So I always seem to forget what kind of corn it is. And, watermelon. I'm not sure. Oh, my tag says watermelon. Well, that's very informative. I'm not sure what kind of watermelon this is. I'll have to check in my package and see. But this corn has been just growing like crazy. It is an early variety. And then we have the spaghetti squash getting lots of blooms. Flowers on my spaghetti squash, so that's awesome. More spaghetti squash. going in here. And at the very end, that's a spaghetti squash as well. I picked up this rose. It was at Walmart. And they had it marked down to $7.50, I think it was. But this is Queen Elizabeth Grandiflora Rose. So it has to be planted in full sun. It's got a light fragrance to it. And it's going to get about 6 feet high, it says. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put this. I might end up putting it on the corner where I just put out this big honkin' rock. So these, I started putting out some rocks to decorate the front. This rock here, I got this when we were on the ocean. We went to the island. We were staying in Ladysmith, and we had some friends took us out in the ocean, and we were in their little fishing boat, and we went over onto another beach, and we found these Tofone rocks. Now the Tofone rock, what that is this is just rocks that the salt water and the waves have been hitting it, and over time it gets those little kind of looks like a crater type. I'm gonna get a little closer. They just look like little craters in the rock, and just over time, the way that the waves hit it from the ocean, and there was barnacles all over a lot of these rocks. So I have this one, and I have 3 more. And they each have, you know, a pretty cool little, they can stand up. I like that one. And then I put another one right there. And then I have my 4th one. The 4th one, you can see the little barnacles the most. So here, I like how it's so cool. And then the barnacles are those little white things on the side, if you can see that. There's not very many left. Okay. Over here are all my flowers. They are just doing absolutely wonderful. Everything's not flowering yet, but my lily is flowering, my chamomile, this nasturtium, lobelia, alyssum, some of my borage has been flowering. The parsley is looking really good. This lemon balm, oh no, this is the lemon basil. That has been just doing really well. And even this basil's been coming along really nice. But we have some columbine in the back. That's going to be flowering. And these carnations are going to start flowering. Look at that pansy. Isn't that so pretty? Ah, that's so pretty. And these are pansies that I started inside the house. Oh, there's another one. You see it behind that basil? That's so pretty. And I love this one too. This is the phlox. It's another one of my favorites. And that crimson dianthus. Here's some more. My salmon geraniums. Like, look at how pretty those are. I love that. And that's just starting to flower. So pretty. Got a double petunia there. Then I have no blooms yet on anything over here other than this one that's been blooming since the day I got it. Looks like it needs some water. And all we have left are these tomatoes. Have the San Marzano and then that is the Cherry Roma. Still haven't put any stakes in that one. In behind in that black pot, that's the Lemon Boy. And then the Sweetie Cherry, got a little cherry tomato on there. Oh, look at this cluster that has started on that Sweetie Cherry right there. 3 in a row and more to come. Then this is a Celebrity, another Lemon Boy, another Celebrity, Manitoba. This one over here, that other Chinese ceramic pot, that's a Manitoba as well. Then this is the Torenzo. The Torenzo is just busting out some sour cherries on this, or not sour cherries, cherry tomatoes on this side. And the yellow tumbler is just starting to put out some tomatoes here. And then this is another Cherry Roma. And then again over here, lots of the Torenzo cherry tomatoes on that side, and we have a couple of the yellow tumbler on that side too. So those are going to start to ripen up nicely. Oh yes, and look at this geranium. I actually did not start this one. I got this given to me as a gift at the end of the season. We were allowed to pick a flower, a plant of our choice, and so I knew I had the salmon geranium, so I picked a red geranium, and oh my gosh, it's so nice. Okay, here in the berry side, got our strawberries growing with the plastic mesh netting over top. I came out here and did a bunch of weed eating. So here we have, this is a elderberry plant that got weed whacked but is coming back. This is the other elderberry plant, like it is just doing amazing. Here is the, oh, what the heck are these called? Haskap. I've actually picked a couple of Haskaps off of these. It's funny, if you've never had a Haskap, it's like an elongated blueberry, but it's got quite a little tart taste to it. There was only 2 on there, so I ate them. There was no point in trying to save them or putting them into a bag to keep them in the freezer until they get more established and bigger and have more production off of them. Then I'll do that, but they're pretty cool actually. So my sister, she was the one that started growing the Haskaps, and so I thought I would check it out. And there's another Haskap there. So what I'm doing is I bought a couple of soaker hoses, and I'm trying to run them through my strawberries, and I'm trying to put them around my plants, but I need another section of soaker hose so that I can wind it around, not also my elderberries, all my raspberries, because these raspberries, if you get up closer, they are just loaded with raspberries, and I'm just waiting. Like, this bush is just loaded. This one here has got lots of raspberries on it too. So it's just a matter of time. I have another one over here. This one has lots of raspberries on it. This one, not as much, but there are some. So I'm trying to weave this soaker hose around all of these plants. And we didn't get any plums this year, but my sour cherries are starting to ripen. Look at that. They're so pretty. Starting to ripen. So over the next week, I'll be probably have most of these picked. Okay, let's come around here. More strawberries. I have that soaker hose going through these strawberries right down the middle. And I'm gonna have to come and pick these strawberries too. I have a few that are, there's one down there, and I see there's another one over there getting big and nice and red. So yeah, we've got a few that we have to pick. So that's my tour for today. I actually had one of the girls that I hire to come and look after the place for me when we're going to be gone. We're actually going to go for a little camping trip not too far from here. Last year we went there. We were hoping to float the river last year, but it was so high and running so fast that it wasn't safe. So we weren't able to float the river last year, so we're hoping that we're going to be able to float the river this year. So we're only going to be gone for a few days, but we have a girl that, like I say, we hire, and she comes and looks after the animals for us, does all the watering for us. So I'm trying to set this up so that she won't have quite as much watering, because I don't know, I've mentioned it many times that it takes me about an hour and a half to water everything, and that doesn't even include, we have apple trees. We have 3 apple trees down there, and we have 2 pear trees as well that aren't in a fenced area. Some of them we've put fence rounds around them, and that's just to basically keep the deer from stripping all the leaves and eating all the fruit off of the trees. So anyways, that's my tour for this, for the middle of July. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, throw a like in there, and you can always subscribe. So thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.